Most men I see make a simple mistake every day that slowly damages blood flow where it matters most. It's not something they think about. In fact, it seems harmless, just a part of their routine. But this quiet habit sends the wrong signals to the body. Over time, those signals add up. What most don't realize is that poor oral habits don't just affect your mouth. They can quietly impact your performance too. If you're over 50 and you've noticed changes, slower response, softer firmness, or less confidence, this could be part of the reason. I'm a board-certified urologist, and today I'll walk you through a technique most men already use, but often get wrong. When done properly, it helps support healthy blood flow and nerve signals. If this caught you off guard, tap like, and subscribe for calm, clear men's health guidance. Stay with me, because the reason this works isn't what most people expect. Most men don't think twice about how brushing their teeth could affect their performance in the bedroom. That sounds like a stretch at first, but it's not. The truth is, your mouth plays a bigger role in your health than most people realize. It's one of the body's main entry points for bacteria and inflammation. When your gums are irritated, inflamed, or infected, even mildly, your body responds. That irritation sends out inflammatory signals into the bloodstream, and those signals don't stay in your mouth. They travel throughout the body, silently disrupting systems that rely on clear communication and healthy blood flow. One of the first places this shows up is in the blood vessels. These vessels are lined with something called the endothelium. It's a thin, sensitive layer that controls how well your blood vessels open and close. When inflammation is high, this lining becomes less responsive. That makes it harder for blood to flow where it needs to, especially during moments of arousal. For men over 50, this becomes even more important. At this age, nitric oxide production naturally begins to decline. Nitric oxide is the chemical that tells those blood vessels to relax, allowing for a strong, sustained erection. But if inflammation is interfering with that signal, the body can't respond the way it used to. Now here's the part most people miss. Your mouth may be the source of that interference. You could be sending the wrong signals every single day just by how you brush. Even if you don't have pain, bleeding, or visible gum issues, inflammation can still be present and still doing damage under the surface. And it doesn't take much. A rushed or aggressive brushing routine can irritate the tissue, disturb the balance of healthy bacteria, and spark a chronic, low-level immune response. The practical meaning here is simple but powerful. Your daily oral care habits can affect more than your breath or your dentist visits. They can quietly influence your vascular health, nerve signals, and even your sexual confidence. If you've been feeling slower, less responsive, or not quite yourself, this might be one of the hidden reasons. The good news is, it's something you can fix. But here's where most men go wrong. When they start to worry about their health, their first instinct is to brush harder. They think more pressure must mean better results. But that one reaction can actually make things worse, and I'll show you why next. As we age, the tissues in our mouth begin to change, especially the gums. They tend to pull back slightly, exposing more of the tooth surface and even some of the root. This makes the area more sensitive and more vulnerable to damage. Unfortunately, many men respond to this change in the wrong way. They assume that brushing harder will clean better, remove plaque faster, or fix bleeding. But more pressure doesn't mean better results. It often leads to more harm. When you brush too hard, especially with a medium or hard bristle toothbrush, you create tiny injuries along the gum line. These aren't visible cuts, but they're enough to trigger the body's response system. Your immune system sees this irritation as a problem and sends out inflammatory chemicals known as cytokines to the area. While that response is meant to protect you, chronic low-level inflammation does the opposite over time. It keeps your system in a state of mild, constant alarm. Now here's where this connects to your performance. Those same inflammatory signals travel through the bloodstream and begin to interfere with the function of your blood vessels. The inside lining of these vessels, called the endothelium, becomes less able to produce nitric oxide. That's the chemical your body uses to open blood vessels and allow proper blood flow during arousal. When nitric oxide levels are low, blood vessels stay tight. That means weaker or slower erections, even when the desire is there. This becomes especially important when you consider the size of penile arteries. They're much smaller than the arteries in your heart or legs, so even a slight disruption in blood flow has a noticeable effect. What seems like a harmless brushing habit can, over time, create a chain reaction that affects your confidence, energy, and sense of vitality. The takeaway here is simple. Brushing harder does not protect your health. It can work against it. The right approach isn't about pressure. It's about precision, care, and understanding how your body responds to small, repeated actions. Now let me show you the exact brushing technique that avoids this chain reaction and actually supports the systems your body needs to stay strong and responsive. Let's walk through the exact brushing technique that helps reduce inflammation and support the signals your body needs for healthy blood flow. First, let's be clear, this is not about scrubbing harder or brushing faster. It's about being deliberate with how you move the brush and where you place it. Small changes here make a big difference. Start by choosing a soft bristled toothbrush. It should feel gentle, not stiff. Hard bristles wear down gum tissue and enamel over time. That's the opposite of what we want. You're not trying to fight your gums, you're working with them. Now focus on your angle. Place the brush at about a 45-degree angle, aiming the bristles toward the gum line, not straight across the tooth. This lets the bristles gently clean where the tooth meets the gum, which is where most buildup hides. Use short, gentle strokes, about the width of 1 or 2 teeth. Think of it more like a polishing motion, not a scrubbing one. The pressure should be light, enough to feel the bristles contact the surface, but not enough to flatten them. If the bristles are bending or the gums are stinging, ease up. The goal is to remove plaque and stimulate circulation in the tissue, not to scrape away layers of protection. Timing matters too. Spend about 2 minutes brushing, 30 seconds per section, upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left. Make sure you're not rushing through. Many men shave with care, but brush as an afterthought. Your mouth deserves the same attention. Don't forget to brush along the inside surfaces and the tongue. Bacteria lives in all corners, and the tongue can hold onto it just as easily as the teeth. A clean mouth lowers the amount of inflammation-causing bacteria that can slip into the bloodstream. Now here's the part that connects this to your circulation. When you brush correctly, you keep gum tissue calm and intact. This reduces the chance of small cuts, bleeding, or irritation. That means your immune system stays quiet and inflammatory markers stay low. Less inflammation means your blood vessels, including the small penile arteries, stay more responsive to nitric oxide. That's the chemical signal that tells blood to flow in when you're aroused. When that system works well, firmness improves, response time shortens, and confidence often returns. There's also a nerve connection here. The mouth has many nerve endings. When tissue is calm and healthy, those nerves send the right signals to the brain. That supports a smoother response across your entire system. This isn't about chasing a quick fix. It's about restoring the natural feedback loops your body relies on to function. What's powerful is that you don't need fancy products or complicated routines. You're already brushing twice a day. This is just doing it better. The change is subtle, but the long-term impact on your overall health, energy, and performance can be meaningful. But technique alone isn't the whole picture. What you do immediately after brushing can either protect that benefit or undo it entirely, and that's where most men slip up. Let's talk about that next. Right after brushing, most men do something that feels clean, but can actually undo the benefits they just created. They rinse with water, or worse, they reach for a strong mouthwash that burns. It feels fresh, but it strips away one of the most protective elements in your mouth, your saliva. Saliva isn't just moisture. It contains important compounds that protect your gums, repair tissue, and support the nerves inside your mouth. When you rinse it away immediately or kill off helpful bacteria with alcohol-based mouthwash, you leave your mouth dry, irritated, and vulnerable. Your body notices this. It responds with more inflammation, more sensitivity, and sometimes even more bleeding or soreness. And just like before, those local signals don't stay local. Inflammation in the mouth triggers signals throughout the entire system. That means the brushing you did to lower inflammation may not have much effect if it's followed by habits that raise it right back up. From a biological standpoint, you want to keep the environment inside your mouth balanced. That means avoiding overcleaning, especially right after brushing. You've already removed debris and plaque. Now your mouth needs time to rebalance and restore. Swishing hard with mouthwash or rinsing with a full cup of water removes the natural fluids and enzymes your body just produced to protect itself. The practical fix is simple. After brushing, just spit, don't rinse. Let the small amount of toothpaste and saliva stay on your gums for a minute or two. This allows those protective compounds to soak in and do their job. If you use mouthwash, make sure it's alcohol-free and gentle. Something designed to soothe and protect, not just mask odor. This small change helps reduce rebound inflammation. It keeps your gum tissue calmer, your nerve endings healthier, and your bloodstream clearer of unnecessary stress signals. It may not feel as fresh at first, but it's healthier in the long run. And for men over 50, reducing daily inflammation is one of the smartest things you can do to protect your vascular and sexual health. Next, we need to talk about how these tiny daily signals connect directly to your ability to achieve and maintain a firm erection. Erections don't rely on just one thing. They depend on a system, a quiet chain of signals between your brain, your blood vessels, your nerves, and your hormones. Each part has to work well and respond in sync. As men age, this system becomes more sensitive to daily habits and background stress. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest disruptors. It's silent. You don't feel it directly. But it slowly interferes with the signals your body needs to respond properly. And it doesn't always start in the obvious places. In many cases, it begins in areas like the mouth, where small injuries or irritation can send the wrong signals downstream. When your mouth is inflamed, even slightly, your immune system stays active. This sends chemical messengers through your bloodstream that affect the inside lining of your blood vessels. That lining, called the endothelium, controls whether your vessels stay relaxed or tight. For an erection to happen, those vessels need to open up quickly and fully, but when the endothelium is inflamed, it doesn't respond well. That means less blood flow, slower response, and weaker firmness. On top of that, inflammation also affects your nerves. It dulls the communication between sensory nerves and the brain, which plays a key role in arousal and physical reaction. The more background noise your system has to fight, the harder it becomes for clear signals to get through. Now, the good news is this: small, consistent actions can help. You don't need extreme fixes or overnight changes. What your body needs is steady support over time. Every time you care for your mouth the right way, by brushing gently, preserving saliva, and calming inflammation, you're helping reduce the background pressure on your system. That frees up more energy for repair, for response, and for hormone balance. This isn't about chasing instant performance. It's about restoring the conditions your body needs to function naturally, without constant interference. That's why small changes in routine, when done consistently, can lead to steady improvements in how you feel, how you respond, and how confident you are in your body again. To understand why this works the way it does, let's take a closer look at the science, but in simple, clear terms that make it all click. This isn't guesswork, it's basic biology. When we talk about blood flow and performance, we're really talking about the health of your blood vessels. Every vessel in your body is lined with a layer of cells called the endothelium. These cells help control when vessels tighten and when they relax. For an erection to happen, those vessels must open up quickly to let blood flow in. That process is triggered by a chemical your body makes called nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is what tells your blood vessels it's time to relax and let blood through. But here's the problem: inflammation gets in the way. When the lining of your blood vessels is irritated, even from something happening far away, like your gums, it stops working as well. Less nitric oxide means tighter vessels. Tighter vessels mean less blood flow, and that shows up exactly where you don't want it to. Now, your mouth plays a bigger role in this than you might expect. It's one of the body's most active surfaces. It's exposed to bacteria, pressure, and friction every single day. If your gums are inflamed, even slightly, they send out warning signals. These signals don't stay local. They enter the bloodstream and raise your body's overall level of inflammation. That can quietly reduce your nitric oxide levels, restrict blood flow, and make it harder for your body to respond when you need it to. When you use the proper brushing technique, gentle, angled, and without harsh rinsing, you reduce irritation at the source. That calms the gums, lowers inflammation, and protects the sensitive lining of your blood vessels. It also helps keep the nerves in your mouth healthier, which supports better communication between your brain and body. This is why the technique works. You're not just brushing for a cleaner mouth, you're creating a better internal environment for your circulation, your nerves, and your hormone signals to do their jobs. It's not a quick trick, it's a steady support system that helps your body work the way it's designed to. If you've been feeling discouraged about changes in your body, slower response, less firmness, or reduced confidence, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. Your body is responding, not failing. As we age, our systems adapt to the signals we give them. When those signals are disrupted by inflammation or stress, performance changes. That's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your body is protecting itself the best way it knows how. The good news is that this process works both ways. When you improve the signals by lowering inflammation, protecting nerves, and supporting blood flow, your body can begin to respond again. Not with instant results, but with steady, natural improvement. This is about restoring what's already there, not forcing something that's missing. It's easy to feel pressure around this topic, especially when it's tied to your sense of identity or manhood. But the truth is, these changes are common. They're also manageable. The small daily choices you make, like how you care for your mouth, send powerful messages to your system. Those messages shape your health over time. What matters most is not what's happened in the past, but what you do next. You don't need to feel shame. You need good information, consistent habits, and a calm understanding that your body wants to work with you, not against you. And now that you understand what's really happening under the surface, you're in a much stronger position to take action. The small things you do every day shape how your body performs in the long run. It's not about chasing perfection. It's about staying consistent with habits that support your health from the inside out. Gentle brushing, preserving healthy saliva, reducing inflammation at the source. These are simple, steady steps that help your body do what it's meant to do. If this connection between oral care and blood flow surprised you, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear, did you ever hear this link before? Make sure to subscribe if you want calm, clear, science-based guidance made for men over 50. We focus on what actually works, not hype. In the next video, I'll break down another common daily habit that quietly affects male blood flow and what to do instead. You won't want to miss it. Stay well and keep giving your body the right signals.